We'll begin with Coach Kirby Smart and players from Georgia. At this time, we have defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter, quarterback Jake Fromm. After a brief opening statement from Coach, we'll turn the floor over to questions. Coach, go ahead.
I'll open with the City of New Orleans and the Allstate Sugar Bowl staff. They do a tremendous job. They put on a great bowl game, give our guys a lot of opportunities to grow, and so many people talk about the fact that bowl games don't mean as much anymore. Well, our players had an experience this week that they'll remember the rest of their lives. It's one of the best bowl games in the history of bowls, and I know these guys aren't happy, nor am I, with the performance we had. We didn't come out and play the way we're capable of. But I certainly want to thank the people in New Orleans for hosting us. I also want to congratulate Texas. You know, Tom did a great job with his team and his program. They've gotten better throughout the season. They played more physical than us, and it showed to me that they wanted it more than we did. And you got to give them credit for that. I also want to thank my seniors. You know, we got a group of seniors on this team that they came in as 30-something signees, and it's down to about 6 or 7 or 8 guys that are actually playing now out of that senior class. And that's all that's left is that group. And they've bought into what this staff has wanted to do. They've led, they've done the hard things, and they've won a lot of football games. And they've helped turn this program in the right direction. We just got to find a way to finish it and do it the right way, and we'll do that moving forward. Thank you.
We'll open up the floor to questions. We ask that you raise your hand and identify yourself by name and media outlet. Right here on the right.
Dan Matthews, 6A, The Fan in Atlanta. Coach Smart, did it necessarily surprise you how physical they were on both sides of the line of scrimmage tonight?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. Their league, guys, people don't respect their league like we do, especially from a scoring standpoint. They do a great job in their league of up-tempo, fast, but when they have to play physical, they play physical. And I thought they did a good job of that. I thought their quarterback managed the game well with his quarterback run play. He really hurt us. You know, we missed tackles and didn't finish on him defensively. And then we weren't really able to run the ball like we like to consistently. And give Texas credit. They did a good job stopping that.
Also on the right-hand side right here.
Kirby, do you think that the not getting into the playoff thing overtook, Dean Legge from Dog Post, do you think that overtook the focus from this game?
I think that would be easy to say, but I certainly don't think that when you go to a meeting, that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about Texas. When you're on the practice field, you're thinking about Texas. We're preparing for Texas. We prepared for Texas for a long time. So that would be an easy excuse to use. I'm not touching that because it has nothing to do. We had an opponent to play, a good football team in which our team was focused on ready to play. You know, I think the world of social media, it's easy to say things, but, you know, 15, 20 years ago, you didn't know what kids were thinking because they didn't have an ability to tweet it out or show it. Now, their thoughts change every 10 seconds. So just because they tweet something emotional during that time, that doesn't matter. It gives the other team motivation, but our team was motivated to play Texas. Texas outplayed us, outcompeted us, they outcoached us, they outphysicaled us. They did a lot of things better than us, and I think you give Tom credit.
Again, in the center of the room.
Bulldog Illustrated. It seemed like everything kind of steamrolled there. You know, Jake's knee touching the ground and then the fumble on the 12-yard line. It just seemed like everything could go wrong. It seemed went wrong in that first quarter, and it got you in that tough hole, didn't it?
It did, and those are all things that we controlled. You know what I mean? We controlled the snap. We controlled Jake's knee. We control whether we possess the ball or not because people try to take it from you. But those are all things that you got to be resilient about and go out and overcome. And if you prepare right, and you go out there and play your best football game, you don't have those errors and things. And you got to be able to overcome those sometimes. You think about this year, we didn't have a start of a game similar to like that really all year. So you got to do a better job preparing our players for that and go out and execute.
Again, right down here.
Dean Legge again. Jake, it seemed it took you a little bit of time to get rolling. Was that Texas? Was that y'all, the receivers? Was it everything?
It was tough. You know, they did a really good job game planning for us. You know, they had an entire month to do so, and they were showing a lot of different looks. They were, you know, constantly mixing stuff up. Did a really good job with some eye violation stuff, and you know, showing you one thing one way and bringing it from the other. But I just think, you know, at the beginning, they game planned really well. They showed us what that game plan was, you know, in those first couple of drives, but we just couldn't make adjustments quick enough, you know, really to capitalize on that.
In the back on the right, please.
Dave Piper, Zoom Radio, Thomaston, Georgia. Coach, you got a young roster. What do you hope your young players will take away from these last 2 games?
Well, I hope they learn that you better show up to play every game, because the teams that you're playing at the end of the year are all capable of topping you. And, it's a value. We've played in some really incredible venues with the SEC Championship and then this Sugar Bowl, the Allstate Sugar Bowl. They're incredible venues, and there's a lot of young players out there that are growing and getting better. I just hope that this group buys in with really good leadership, especially the youth on the team, and grows into really good leaders. We've got to have great leadership moving forward to get where we want to go. And I think the guys leaving have set a legacy and set a standard. Now we've got to raise that standard. And we've got to learn from the fact that when you go to play a game 30 days later, you got to be at your best. And we didn't play our best game tonight, but you got to give Texas a lot of credit because they made it that way.
Dean
Again,
Legge,
down here.
Jonathan, what will your legacy be at Georgia after this 4 years?
I think it's simple. Georgia's heading in a different direction than it was, a couple years back, and I can say I was a part of that group that laid the foundation for that. You can obviously see that the standard is changing. Despite today, tough loss, played a good physical team, but the culture of Georgia is becoming something greater than it ever was, and I think it'll continue to do that way beyond when I'm going. But I was the start of it, and that's big for me. I'm grateful to be that. I'm grateful that the school, allowed me to be there and, took a chance on me and picked me as a leader for this team, and just to get this thing started off in the right way.
Stay on the right side of the room.
Dan Matthews again. Jake, with the running game, a lot of your offense is predicated on that success. What were they able to do to take that away from you guys, or was it something that maybe you guys weren't able to execute?
Well, first thing, they were very physical up front. That's one obstacle you have to climb over. And the next thing, they were slanting this way and that way, shooting multiple gaps, and we just had a tough time, trying to figure out, which way they're moving, and trying to cut guys out of gaps. It was tough, and we just didn't really do a good job of being physical up front, and it kind of hurt us with not being able to run the football.
Back in the center of the room.
Dean Legge again. Kirby, I'm sorry I'm going to butcher his name, but David Wilson, I think, played tonight for the first time at Georgia.
Did.
And played a lot. How did y'all get him ready for that, and what were the expectations coming in?
Well, we wanted him to play all year, and I give the kid a lot of credit. He's been frustrated, and he wanted to play. He had the ACL injury in the spring. We thought he was going to be a really good player, and he was cleared somewhere around the Florida week. But you can't just get cleared and magically go out there and play. It was similar to Ben's injury. It's an injury where you got to take some time and get over it. And we thought with a 30-day window that if we're going to get where we want to go as a program and football team, we've got to get bigger at the nickel star. We got to get more athletic and be able to play, heavier guy. He's 200 pounds. I can't say how he played tonight because I didn't get to see a lot of it, but we were going to share he and Tyreek actually got injured during the game, so there's another guy out. So Devad just had to play the whole time. But I thought he competed hard, and he was excited to go out there and play.
Shift over to the left side of the room.
Kirby, there was a report that you benched a couple starters during practice during the week because of lack of effort. Can you comment on that? And also, McCole Hardman said he thought the energy level of a bunch of guys seemed to be down at the start of the game. Could you just also comment on that? And
I missed the second part.
McCole Hardman said he thought the energy level of some players was not where it should be at the outset of the game.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way. I thought the energy level was really good at the start of the game in the locker room. The guys were fired up. They were going. We sold playing to a standard and making a statement, and we didn't do that. We were going to play for each other's back, and the guys that we wanted to go out there and play for were the guys that they're seniors. So we obviously didn't do that well. We didn't come out and start very fast, and like I said before you came in, I think we didn't have the kind of start that we have in most games. It was like the exact opposite. Then the beginning question was, did I bench any starters? No, I didn't. I thought our guys practiced really well leading up to the game. Since we came to the bowl site, they practiced well. We had a lot of starters injured. You know what I mean? Like, we had guys out, but there was nobody that got benched that was a starter. No, there's nobody that we benched. If it was a non-starter, how do you bench him? I don't understand. Oh, no, I didn't. I certainly didn't feel that way. Nobody. DeAndre Walker didn't play tonight, but DeAndre Walker's been injured. I don't know if you're speculating about him. I don't know who you're asking about, but. No, I didn't think so. We did a lot of, we felt like it was important to practice shorter and practice good on good, because the look you get from the scout team late in the year is not real good, and kids get lethargic and they get lazy and you get sloppy. So we did higher quality work with less quantity and got more competitive. So we had all our starters out there going against each other.
Back to the center of the room.
Murray Poole again. Jonathan, did our fast pace of the Texas offense, y'all think y'all were pretty well prepared for that? And also Ellinger, the quarterback, he was kind of hard to him up. Did bringing containment and all. What would you say about both of those things?
We handled the tempos pretty well. He's a good quarterback. Can't take that away from me. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. He's a good runner. We talked about it all week. He's a running back that can throw the ball. We didn't contain. We didn't have a level pass rush most of the times, and we didn't get him on the ground. And when you don't do that, it makes plays.
Kirby, this is Dean Legge again. Kirby, what do you think happened with DeAndre at the beginning of the game? I've not seen him fumble like that in his time at Georgia.
It happens, guys. I mean, I don't know. You want to say that he was wanting to fumble? I mean, one of them, the guy literally stripped it out. It was a great strip. And we pride ourselves. We're one of the teams in the country that we start half our practices with the defensive players ripping at the ball and the offensive player. And the kid ripped the ball out. The second one, he put his helmet right on that ball. And that one, you almost say, man, that was a weird hit. That guy, he spiked and hit him right on the ball, and the ball shot out. The first one, he got stripped out. Can't happen. And I know DeAndre's just as disappointed as anybody, and we didn't play with the same energy level that we usually do, and that's a lot of credit to Texas, because they were in our backfield. Several times they penetrated and moved quick, and we weren't able to handle the penetration, and when they're in your backfield, that's how they cause fumbles.
Stay on the right-hand side of the room, right down here.
Dan Matthews again, 2-part question for you, Jake. One, do you feel like you guys were able to flush away the loss in Atlanta before even coming here? And the other part of it is, can you guys bounce back from this during an off season?
So the first part, no, I don't think it bothers. I think we flushed it. We went back to work. We realized, what had, got us to this point, and that's going to work, that's grinding, and really going hard at practice. And, I thought leading up to, this game, we practiced really well and had a lot of good things in, just didn't play well today. And the second part of that question was?
Can you just turn the page from this during an off season going into next year?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to do that. Myself, a couple other of these leaders, are going to step up, and we're going to have a great off season. Come back better than ever. And I'm fired up for it, and can't wait for it.
Any other questions for Coach Smart or the student athletes? Gentlemen, thank you.